Hello! On today's lesson, we will be learning about the brain hemisphere and brain works. Intro to brain hemisphere and brain works. The brain hemisphere refers to two large parts of the human brain that are anatomically and functionally separate. Meanwhile, the brain works, or how the brain works, refers to the complex activities and processes that occur in the human brain. Now, let's discuss the brain hemisphere first. Broadly speaking, the brain is divided into two parts, namely the right brain and the left brain. Now, what is the difference between these two parts of the brain? According to research, people who use their left brain more are people who are likely to analyze, are critical, objective, persistent, goal-oriented, and prioritize logic. Meanwhile, people who are more dominant in using their right brains are creative people, have lots of ideas, and prioritize intuition. Our brain receives external stimuli through our senses, such as sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. When we see something, for example, the image is sent to our brain through our eyes. Likewise, with the sounds we hear, the information is sent to the brain through our ears. When we touch something, our brain receives that information through touch. When the stimulus reaches our brain, various parts of the brain work together to process the information. For example, parts of the brain such as the visual cortex will be involved in the processing of visual information, while the auditory cortex will process sound information. Each part of the brain has their own roles. For example, the frontal lobes is responsible for short-term memory, planning, thinking, and problem solving. The parietal lobes is responsible for sensing and touches, also identifying directions, sizes, and shapes. The occipital lobes is responsible to identify objects through eyes. Hypothalamus is responsible for long-term memory and emotion controller. The temporal lobe is responsible to control our hearing and memories. This process occurs quickly and is complex. Our brain has millions of nerve cells that work together to interpret external stimuli and produce appropriate responses. How can our brain work well? The answer lies in the three key concepts: interrelationships, interactions, and integration. Interrelationships, which mean the connection between parts of the brain, allows information to flow smoothly with it. Interaction, namely the process which various parts of the brain communicate with each other and work together to complete complex tasks. And finally, integration refers to the brain's ability to combine information from various sources to form a holistic understanding. When interrelation, interaction, and integration work together, our brain are capable of extraordinary things like solving problems, remembering memories, and even works of art. With an understanding of the brain hemisphere and brain works, we become more aware of the complexity of the human brain and how it works in harmony to form a holistic understanding of the world around us. With this conclusion, it is hoped that the students will get a more complete picture of how the brain works and integrate external stimuli into a greater understanding.